Welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbao, live all the way from Katariga, all the way in Tamale. And today is we are paying close attention to the Ghana Football Association's elections, which ended a few hours ago and saw Kurt Okraku retain his seat for another 4 years as president of the association. Now, let's just go through the election results that unfolded today at the Global Dream Hotel in Tamale. Now, you can see on your screens the election for president, and Kurt Okraku obviously contested unopposed, or what that meant was that it was a simple affirmation exercise that was going to be carried out on him, and 120 delegates were in attendance today, and 117 of them voted yes for Kurt Okraku, and just 2 voted no, and 1 was in abstention over there. And that's how Kurt Okraku managed to become secure another 4 years as president of the association, and that's about 98% of the votes over there. Well, Kurt Okraku himself spoke after his swearing in, calling for unity among the rank and file of the association, and even called upon George Afriye, his main contender, who was only disqualified after some mistakes in his filing. He did call out to him that he should come on board and help build the Football Association, and call on everybody to promote unity in his next 4-year term as president of the association. Let's hear from Kurt Okraku.
We can only go to the Ghanaian game when we stay together. The football game is a very big one, and everybody, including my brother George, has a role to play. I will reach out to George and I'll bring him back home. So, George, wherever you are, we are one. My message to you is to him. My message to you is to him.
All right, so that's Kurt Okraku there calling on the Ghana Football Association president, on the former vice president of the Ghana Football Association, George Afriye, to come on board. We wait to see how that will be received. But a former aspirant of the Ghana Football Association, Neil Armstrong, who publicly supported Kurt Okraku's retention as president of the association, also spoke to us on the sidelines of the Congress.
I'm happy, without you even asking me, that my desire and prayer was we would come to this Congress, and what I described when I was on your platform a few days ago, the overwhelming public endorsement of Kurt Okraku had to manifest in the votes. And the figures that you just shared clearly show that this is a physical manifestation and an affirmation of what we were hearing. There were those who felt that these were just words being spoken by people who wanted to be seen to be aligned with the system as you describe it. But 117 out of 119 is 98.3%. I don't know what louder statement the delegates of the Football Association would give to Mother Ghana in expressing their support for the leadership of President Kurt Edwin Simeon Okraku. I think this gives him a mandate that is clearly overwhelming. It's without question. It's unquestionable. And I'm just looking forward to him harnessing the energy that he will draw from this overwhelming support to lead Ghana football to where we all desire ourselves to be.
So you heard from Neil Armstrong, a former aspirant of the Ghana Football Association, clearly happy about Kurt Okraku's retention as president of the association. Now, with me here is Say Mubarak, is a sports journalist and one who has followed the Kurt Okraku administration very closely. Also is my colleague Immortal Kwame Ejako, a champion, one whom has been here with me for the last 2 days reporting on the elections. Both of them monitor the elections very closely, and they joined me here just for some brief remarks about the electoral process. Well, let me start from you. Say, you are in Tamale, and we've had a decent reception since we came here, to be fair. But talking about the Congress, though, what was your impression about the entire organization of the Congress here in Tamale?
Well, I must say that it was quite interesting to watch this election. We here in Tamale are very happy because this is the second time we are having to host the GFA election. The last time was in 2015 when Kwesi Nyantakyi went unopposed like we saw today. And so there has been questions why always Tamale, especially when we have people going unopposed. But I'm quite sure that Mr. Kurt Okraku, before the announcement that Tamale was going to host, didn't know that he was going unopposed as at then. But I think the organization went quite well. Since Monday, the assurance was that the elections was going to come on. We had issues about injunctions and what have you, but the FA knew that definitely they were not flouting the laws, in order to come on board to do the elections here in Tamale. And so from Tuesday, Wednesday, and today, Tamale was buzzing with a lot of people coming on board, and it gave everybody the signal that really the elections was going on. The organization perfect, you could see from the conference hall and the environment where the election came on, that everything actually was okay.
Well, let me come to you, Immortal. You monitor the elections from the beginning to the end. In terms of how the election was conducted, what would be your assessment of it? Did you get concerns about the fairness of the elections, or the concerns among the delegates, among the aspirants? What was the concerns? Were they satisfied with the electoral process that did take place?
Well, I think so. They were much okay. When I went in, when you speak to some of the delegates and even those who were contesting, everyone was okay. And it was about lobbying, telling their friends, in football, telling them that they should vote here, they should do this, they should do that. And then, before everything, some of them even find it difficult to talk to us. Someone like James Akwesiapia and Frederick Achi, it was difficult for them to talk to us. They told us we should just wait. When the process is done, they will definitely talk to us, and they did that. So the process was okay. The way they were, the way the election committee, when they organize it, how they call them, Division 1, they will call them, and then they will go through the process. They take their ballot, they go and vote, and even how they counted it. Everything was okay. I'm here to see any candidate or any delegate to say that the process wasn't okay. The process was something else. We are here to.
Let's talk about the election results itself. We just heard from the president of the Ghana Football Association, saying that largely the reason why he was voted and endorsed in the manner that he was endorsed was because people believe in his vision, people believe in the kind of leadership that he is undertaking. What is your personal, opinion about Kurt Okraku's second term as president of the association? From where you stand, do you think he deserves to continue as president of the association?
Well, having followed Ghana League for a very long time, I think there are a lot for him to do, but he has also done well. There are some, things that he has to do with and make sure that the league will be okay. But the electorate has spoken. Having gotten about 117 votes from them out of 120 should show clear that he has done well, according to the electorate. But coming to my side, I also say he has done well because looking at where they picked the team, they picked the league form. It got to a time I think one of the government institutions touted them as a crime scene. The Attorney General, he came on to say it's a crime scene. After normalization, he made sure that you put the pieces together, and then he did it. Till now, we were in World Cup. The other junior national teams, some of them were not doing well. But remember, under 20, they did well. They went to Mauritania and won the African Cup of Nations for under 20 version. Yes, Olympic Games. Even Kwesi Nyantakyi time, we were finding it difficult to go. We've tried. Even normalization, we try our possible best to get a ticket and go to Japan for Tokyo 2020 in 2021. he didn't also qualify. So it's something which is there already. There are things that we have to do. Now
to improve the game.
Yes, now the Black Stars. Yes, we went to AFCON, performance wasn't okay. But the most important thing is that when we're going to World Cup, when the going get tough, we were able to eliminate Nigeria.
Yeah, and that was very impressive. And I'm sure that's one thing that Kurt would have
even the local Black Stars, the Black Galaxies, they got to a point they were not qualifying. Remember the 3 editions, we couldn't go. Ivory Coast eliminated us once. Burkina Faso got us out in 2 occasions or on 2 occasions. But he did well by taking away Nigeria for us to qualify. Yes, the tournament wasn't good, but the qualification
was good.
Yes,
let me come to say Mubarak, in terms of the message of the president of the Ghana Football Association, he had a very interesting call out to George Afriyie that he's reaching out to him. He should come on board. And of course, we know why he was doing that. George Afriyie, you know, within the minds of a lot of sports analysts, is a rival of a sort. He took the electoral process to court. It's set to be held on October 14. He's taking his disqualification to CAS now. So it's pretty much puts even this whole electoral process in some limbo of a sort, because we don't know what will happen on October 14, what will happen in CAS. You know, if it goes in favor, what it means is that all of this is going to be quashed. But his message to reach out to George Afriyie, what did you make of it? Do you think it was just some politics being played, or this was a genuine attempt to repair, you know, some broken relationship?
Well, for sure, from all indication, it was quite clear that it wasn't part of politics. This is a man who said to the delegate that he met George 2 days before he actually arrived here in Tamale for this election. And the message was very, very clear, because even if you look at the road to the 2019 election, the comments that were coming from Mr. George, any politician, even at his position as Kurt Okraku, wouldn't have taken some of them as kindly as expected. But this is a man who thinks that he needs to seek advice, he needs to seek the opinions of the public and of course the stakeholders to ensure that his vision and of course mission as a personality in terms of the development of the game is well achieved. And so for me, I did not take it as part of politics. I think that he made it quite clear that he has a lot of experience in the game, and this is somebody who, as a matter of fact, has been out of the game because he's not close to the association, he's not close to football. And so he thinks that when he brings him closer, definitely he will be able to explore, you know, Mr. George Afriyie's experience, tap it into our game, and then that is all that we need. In Africa, in Ghana, it has always been the winner takes all. But Kurt thinks that we need to change the dynamics, and so bringing, you know, Mr. George Afriyie on board to ensure that he also taps the experience he has already in the game, because he met him at ESCO. In 2019, definitely during the campaign, we all heard that he actually held the hand of Mr. Kurt Okraku to ESCO. He brought him on board, and so in terms of experience, he has it. And so if I am such a person, definitely I want to bring Mr. George Afriyie on board. Others would think otherwise, that he's making fun of him, he's sort of jabbing him because he's disqualified. But from his demeanor, from the emotions I saw from Mr. Kurt Okraku, it wasn't just part of politics. He means what he's saying. And I think that if Mr. George is ready to accept, I think that we can take it from there, and it wouldn't just be the winner takes all. You know, we don't need to set such precedent in the development of our game.
Well, it wasn't just the presidential elections that did take place. Executive Council elections also did take place, and we're just going to have on our screen some of the results there. And for the Ghana Premier League representatives, James Akwesi Appiah managed to sail through. Nana Odro Safo also managed to sail through. And Dr. Randy Abbey also managed to sail through. Frederick Itampong also managed to sail through. And the Chief Executive Officer of Bechem United, Mr. Kingsley Osei, also managed to sail through. Lord Zico, he is called. He also managed to sail through. So 5 representatives from the Ghana Premier League managed to make it to the Ghana Premier League. Now, in the Division 1, there were 3 slots up for grabs there. The vice president, you know, just recent gone vice president of the association, Mark Addo, he managed to sail through. He got a whooping, 32 votes. Very impressive for him. That seems to be very popular among the Division 1 members. And also Mr. Gideon Fosu also got it there, and Ni Amon also managed to make it there. So, but interesting was Samuel Enimado. He's him losing that was one of the surprise, you know, over there. I'll get to Say Mubarak and Immortal to just get their thoughts on that. But let's hear from James Akwesi-Appiah, who spoke to me after his election into the Executive Council, insisting that the question about him working for Sudan and working for Ghana FA is neither here nor there, because he is able to multitask. James Akwesi-Appiah.
Most of the executives are the old folks, and I'm the new one in there now. What I can do is to make sure I bring a lot of technical issues, and then in terms of where the FA needs personalities to lead them in some transactions, some of us will be available to do that. And I think we will try and help and make a lot of impact to help our coaches and our players as well.
What about those who are saying that it will be too much work for you to work for the Ghana Football Association, also be working in Sudan? What will you say to those who are saying Akwesi-Appiah is working too much and he should be...
Now, we should not be talking about Sudan when you don't know whether I've signed the contract or I've not signed. You only talk about... No, they've given me opportunity to negotiate. That does not mean I've signed.
But
you say two different things.
That it might be too much work for you in the events you...
But can you tell me any of the executives of the ESCO who is not working? Can you point to one who is not doing his own work? All of them. The ESCO is not a permanent job that one has to stay there. Each and every one does different jobs. And the most important thing is, what impact can you give the FA in order to improve Ghana football? That's the most important thing we should be looking at. But how is it possible for someone who is not working in this country? You can't play double role, stay somewhere else, and But as I said, I have not signed any contract. I'm now in talks with them, and until then, we just need to stick to where we are now.
Yeah, so that's James Akwesi-Appiah there speaking to us about his election. Let me come back to Immortal and Say Mubarak just to wrap up here on Prime Sports. Immortal, James Akwesi-Appiah, his election, was it of any surprise to you, or this was expected? Because some raised concerns that, going to work for Sudan, working for Ghana FA also, some felt some conflict of interest there, but he didn't struggle at all at the elections.
Yes, I wasn't surprised at all. I remember when they were firing their nomination, there were a lot of endorsement for him. And, he's coming from Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And on most occasions, we've been saying that we need a rep from Kumasi Asante Kotoko and House of Folk. Unfortunately, Elijah Nkabi was disqualified. Yeah. So it was obvious that he was coming. Remember, some years back, Asante Kotoko had a rep on the board. Yeah. But it got to a point they were not getting it. So it was the time. And I remember Stephen Appiah also said that football should be managed by ex-footballers. He says it's being done everywhere. It was a controversial decision. So it was a time for the footballers to also have their rep on the board. So I wasn't surprised. Pulling out 10 votes, same as Nana Safo-Odro, wasn't surprised to me, because everybody knew that Akwesi-Appiah was going to get the nod to serve on the board.
Say, let me come to you. Surprising was Samuel Inimado, who was in the ESCO, just gone by ESCO, missed out big time, 13 votes, and I looked at the votes in the Division 1, he got the lowest there, really shocking. Then Dr. Obin of Midiama, seemed to have become, a powerhouse, sort of, in Ghana football now, but he missed out, even on the ticket of Midiama. You told me you were surprised about that turn of events.
Well, I was surprised about Enim Ado's situation, but Dr. Obin's situation wasn't quite surprised. Of course, reading from the grounds, you could just see that he was one of the candidates who could actually be voted out by the delegates. Mr. Enim Ado, for me, I think that didn't do his homework very, very well. Politics in Ghana, and especially in the football, has a lot to do with human relation. And I think that is where he got it a bit wrong. that after the clubs voted for him in 2019, he seems to have actually neglected these clubs, only to turn back to them during this particular period. And these were the comments that the delegates were making on Tuesday, Wednesday, and route to today's election. So it was very, very clear from the delegates that, look, we will not sit down for another 4 years for somebody to come convince us of what he has done. And of course, they look at your impact. In Dr. Obin's situation, look, I wouldn't be surprised even if Mediama did not vote for, Dr. Oben.
That would be very surprising.
Definitely, because these are the antics, these are the dynamics in the election that we're having, because they are looking at what impact has he played for the club as an EXCO member. How many players has Mediama contributed to our national teams? Many believe that it is the coming of Moses Parker that has really injected something into Mediama at this particular point in time. And so you're looking at people who are closer to him, getting closer to this election. These are personalities who were a bit trying to parallel themselves away from Doctor. And I think that some of them, it will take them time to get back to the politics in our game, especially Mr. Enim. But of course, that is it. You need to get back from where you stumbled and then see how you can, resurrect your career in our politics.
I mean, finally, let me just wrap up with Immortal. Immortal, the only woman in the Executive Council is Mrs. Gifty Owari-Mensah. In some 40 seconds, though, tell me what you believe Mrs. Gifty Owari-Mensah is going to add to the Executive Council for which everybody should support her.
She relates to the clubs. Just, I think, when we went to Kumasi for the other Congress, she went and did some donations to some clubs and what have you. She was with the Ampimodakwan ladies when they went to Nigeria to win the WAFU. So you can see that her relation with the clubs are top notch, and everyone was vying for her. She's outspoken, she's also in government. Yeah. So when the going gets off, you will get her. I remember when one of the team, when they were going to one of these qualifiers, I was told that she just made call, and then they had 50% of the tickets, and then they were there. So yes, she has done well.
Interesting. Well, that's all time will permit us on Prime Sports tonight with me, Razak Musbah, all the way from Katriga, Tamale, and we'll be back, God willing, on Monday. But tomorrow there's more Prime Sports. Do have a lovely evening. Business edition of PM Express is up next.